Hello, Calvary family. I hope you guys are all having a great week and are all enjoying the beautiful, snowy, cold Northeast Ohio weather that we have going on right now. I just want to take a few moments and talk about the sermon on Sunday and about Ruth and her commitment to family and to Naomi and how powerful that is. As I watched the service and listened to Pastor David's message, I was really encouraged by the story of Ruth and how she was able to overcome so much. Um, and when everything was stacked against her, she still was willing to say to Naomi that she was going to stay with her and she was going to be loyal to her, even though she didn't necessarily need to be. The thing that I'm always amazed by in the story of Ruth is how God was so faithful to her. She ends up with Boaz, and that's all well and good, and God takes care of her through that. But she was faithful to Naomi. And one of the things that Pastor David talked about was how loyal she was, and how because of that, God rewarded her in the end. And one of the things that I've always found really cool about the story of Ruth is how that even though she was a Moabite and even though she was a foreigner and she wasn't Jewish and all these things were against her, in the end, when we look at the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew, we actually find her name in there. And I've always found that really cool because it shows that when you're faithful and when you are committed and loyal and that you trust God and the purposes that He has for you, that no matter what, He's going to be there for you. As we look at our own lives, it can be easy to go through seasons where you're not really sure where God is leading you, where you're not really sure what to do next. One thing we've been talking a lot about in youth is that when we come across those times when we have the opportunity to go two different ways. Ruth had the opportunity to either stay with Naomi and stick it out, even though she didn't know what the end result in that would have been, or she could have gone somewhere else and found another husband and probably had a better life. Like that probably would have made more sense at the time. But Ruth decided to stay with Naomi. She decided to be faithful and to be loyal to her family and to Naomi, even when Naomi was encouraging her to go elsewhere. And as a result of that, God took care of her and God directed her steps. And even though things weren't always easy for her and Naomi, in the end, everything worked out. And then we find her in the genealogy of Jesus. And it's just a really incredible story about how when we trust God and when we're loyal to His plan and to His purposes and we're faithful in the opportunities that He gives us, how He rewards us and how He continually provides for us in our moments of needs. So I was just really encouraged by that. It's really easy for us to forget how faithful God is in moments when things necessarily aren't looking like they're going our way. It can be easy to forget where God is taking us, where God is leading us, and it can be easy to get discouraged. I'm sure when Ruth was in the fields gleaning the leftovers, the scraps, that she was probably thinking, did I make a mistake? Should I have gone off and married someone else while I was young and still had the opportunity to do that? She was probably like regretting her decision in that moment. But because she was faithful and because she was so loyal to Naomi, her reputation went before her. And that's where Boaz came in and God's ultimate provision for her in the end. And I think it's a beautiful story for us of how important it is for us to be faithful and how important it is to persevere during hard times and trust God that even when things aren't looking the best, even when maybe we're thinking like God has abandoned us, or maybe we're down on our luck. When we put our trust in Him and when we put Him first in our lives, He's there to provide for us and make a better way for our futures. So I was really encouraged by this week's message. I hope you guys were too. Stay safe, stay warm, and I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday.